President Obama is calling for tougher drone regulations after one landed on his lawn earlier this week. It's the latest in a high-profile incident involving consumer drones, and it comes as the FAA is still drafting regulations for the industry. Bryan Wynne joins us on the phone now. He's the president and CEO of the Association for Unmanned Vehicle Systems International. So, Bryan, Monday's incident can't be good news for those seeking very lax regulations from the FAA going forward.
Well, to be clear, we're not seeking lax regulations. We're looking for regulations that enable particularly commercial operators to fly under specific conditions. So the incident was clearly unintentional, as it turns out, but it's clearly a misuse of the technology, and we're taking it very seriously.
And so, what are some of your proposals?
Well, for starters, we need to educate people a little bit better. I mean, the space over the White House is prohibited airspace. That's not just regulated airspace or restricted airspace. It's prohibited. We don't let meteors fly through there. So, this is something that we want to educate people about. There are very appropriate places to fly if you're a hobbyist. And in this case, it was someone who was just flying for fun. But Washington near the White House wouldn't be one of those places. So we want to educate people about where appropriate places are to fly. Keep it under 400 feet above the ground. Keep it within line of sight. Stay away from airports, if at least 5 miles, for example, and stay away from people.
And Bryan, I wonder, though, maybe a lot of people are worried that these drones could be outfitted with some kind of technology that could be used for nefarious means. Is that something that you've considered?
Well, it wasn't in this instance, and the Secret Service know how to protect the White House. The incident that we're talking about is a drone with very little payload. So, we have to have some sense of what the real threat is here.
And do you see technology developing that protects sensitive sites from even small drones like this, or is it just going to have to be, in terms of the regulations that you just proposed, 400 feet off the ground, et cetera?
No, that's a great question, Vlad. In this instance, this was a very early model. The models that, for this particular aircraft, the models today would be enabled to geofence, for example. So it wouldn't go anywhere near the White House. And if the operator lost control of it, it would return to station. That is, it would have a particular GPS point, and it would come back. It wouldn't just keep flying away. So there are technologies available today, and this just happened to be an aircraft that didn't have those.
It's a fascinating discussion, Bryan. And I think part of the reason why we wanted to have you on is because I think a lot of people are not very familiar. They know what drones are, but they don't know how they can be used, what they can be used for, and having somebody like yourself to break it all down for us is very important. Thanks so much for joining us, Bryan.
My great pleasure. Thank you.
All right.